Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. Are you a sense offender? Sense offense! Sense offense! That's what we're going to talk about. Just how serious is SJW culture and entertainment? And if Kathy got her way... By the way, go watch Equilibrium. That's where we're heading. An equilibrium world. And what is next? And you think I'm kidding about the equilibrium world? I'm not, at least in regards to art and artistic freedom. We are heading towards an equilibrium world. And if you question them, you are also a sense offender. There was Comicsgate, Gamergate, Stargate, Star Wars Gate, and next, Animegate, manga? You don't think it's possible? Signs are it's starting. That's what we're going to talk about. The biggest sign is the recent announcement from E3 that Dead or Alive 6 without the jiggle. Now you may laugh at that, but it's worthy of a topic and to start talking about it. Because regardless of your stance on the jiggle, Dead or Alive is basically fan service the game, representing a lot of tongue-in-cheek and showing cheeks and tons of cosplay and craziness, and also a big representation of the fan service in anime and manga culture. So, that's what we're going to talk about. Just check out the Dead or Alive DLC costumes for Dead or Alive 5 and see what a difference this is in number 6. And if this game, its entire history can be changed, it's interesting too that Soul Calibur 6 is going full fan service with all of Ivy, Sephidia, and Taki. I plan on buying both games because I'm a big fan of fighting games. Just so if you haven't known from I like other things than Star Wars. I'm a gamer. I like anime, and fighting games are my favorite. So I plan on buying both games, but it's an interesting development, and it begs the question to you viewers. When will SJW culture affect your fandom? Because personally, I'm a gamer, I like comics, but I love movies. And it didn't really start to affect me, personally, until Star Wars and The Last Jedi. But they are not done, and neither should we. Comics, video games, movies, manga, anime are some of the greatest, most interesting, and artistically rich things that came out of the end of the 20th century. And they are worth fighting for in the 21st century. And it's a war that's come to a head with Star Wars thanks to Kathleen Kennedy and her story group. And special shout out to Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers. He was talking about his love of Equilibrium on his stream where he hit 60K. And congratulations on that. That's an achievement. So this video really got rolling because of that stream. And also check out SC Reviews. Really legit and cool Star Wars fan and great videos. He was very gracious to me on his stream also. I enjoy checking out his vids. And the quirks of these games and all these fandoms are part of its charm. Superheroes should be super. And dare I say it, sometimes should be sexy. Sometimes being super should be that way. This movement is making everything generic, boring, and hollow, and leaving a carcass of dead franchises and fandoms. If you haven't been affected, and you wait too long, it may be too late. So Star Wars, I believe, is the battleground right now. I think it's the one that affects the most people. I think the general public is starting to figure this out. It's where I did. Where I start, if you stop just reading the general public just reads headlines and believes it. If you stop reading headlines and believing it, and decipher, read between the lines, and make your own evaluation, and listen to both sides of an argument, you'll truly see that SJW culture can be a problem. I'm not saying diversity shouldn't be something that's strived for, but when you stifle artistic people, artistic properties, all for your goals, this is what you get. Boring, generic, hollow, forgettable, and you leave the fans behind. So Kathy and her story group was there just to push an agenda. We know they were not there for story because look where the story got them. It was a mess. Characters are characters because of their quirks, sexiness, and if they just present normies, there is no fantasy or fun. You know, everyone's force sensitive now. They demolish Luke Skywalker as a character and him being the one in his storyline, make him miserable on an island, and now suddenly everyone else could be force sensitive. It's making nothing special anymore. Everyone could be anything at all times. That's nice, but it's not fun. There's no fun anymore. That's the biggest problem with it. No more fun. Is Star Wars fun anymore? I don't think so. It's more depressing than anything. So, depressing that fictional characters can't... It's so depressing, especially in The Last Jedi, that fictional characters can't wait to kamikaze their way out of the films. Or sign on just so they could do their final sign out, like Harrison. Thanks, Harrison. How seriously do you take all this? Because our artists and fans, they are being tortured for mediocrity. These movies are going to be extremely dated in retrospect. When you look years later and you look back at these films, you'll know exactly what time they were from, with all the little things shoved into them. It's going to be horrible. These are not going to date well. These are not timeless movies. They're movies of the time, and they're already dated. And the one thing I really can't stand is the argument, if you don't like it, move on. Never tell a paying customer to move on. And move on to what exactly? There's not much left. And if you don't think it's serious, and you are an anime and manga fan, just imagine their influence injected into your favorite anime or cosplay culture. Who wants to cosplay Rose Tico or Holdo? There are people that do, and it's sad every time. Just my thoughts, and go watch Equilibrium. I have to go back and watch it now because I haven't watched it in a few years. I love that movie, and it'll be interesting to see now after all the junk we're getting in 2018. And that movie probably wouldn't get made in today's culture because we are in a way living in it with the attack on art and freedom of expression. Are you sense offenders? And those upset with Star Wars, rant on. And the force of fandom, close your wallets. They don't like to listen to gentle pleas and petitions. You know, Boyega on Twitter, we don't care. And then the thing he said before that was, just because you paid for it doesn't mean you get to say. If once you charge a fee for something, the customer has every right to say whatever they want about it, as long as they're not attacking. And a vast majority of fans and fandom are not attacking actors. But it's a hostile environment because we're being ignored. We're still being ignored, and the only time they break their silence is to attack us. Why can't they say, we're working on it? Why can't they have a social media plan for Lucasfilm employees? All we get is attacked and no actual conversation about where to take Star Wars. We're totally ignored. What a failure as a president of Lucasfilm. Kathy is. What a failure. The only time she broke her silence was for Solo. That just proves she's done. She can't handle it. She will never face the music at Star Wars Celebration 2019. Believe it. She will never publicly accept one criticism of her work. Believe it. That's how I 100%, 1,000% know she's done. She's too lame. She wants to be surrounded by her story group peers that kiss her butt. And she will not publicly get any criticism or defend her decisions. It just won't happen. She just wants the praise of her storybook ending. So that's my thoughts. You don't have to follow me anywhere. I just want you to join in the conversation. And do you think Animegate is coming? Because that's the next big fandom that's at risk. I generally believe it. And you know, Dead or Alive 6, I mean, I'll survive. I like the game anyway. It's not a huge deal breaker for me, but it's also a sign of what's coming. That's why I thought it was worthy of talking about. And I cannot wait for Soul Calibur 6 because that is fan service. They're bringing everything back, and I'm going to play that game. I can't wait. What game are you looking forward to? What games are you into? Because we usually talk about Star Wars here. What type of gaming do you like? See you in the next hot topic.